Good morning. Happy Thursday. Good morning. Greetings. Greetings, everyone. How's everybody doing today? Happy Thursday. So I wanted to come in and just talk a little bit about so much is happening in the world right now. It's so fascinating what's happening, and I love it. Like, I'm so excited to have been aware of the unfoldings of the world and then to actually be living in the experience of it. It's really profound. So today is a Jupiter day, but I don't want to talk a lot about astrology. I want to invite you guys to join my private group. I have several groups, but at Follow the Sun. So if there was a time when I did the astrology every day and it really supported you, I'm still doing it. I'm still doing it in my private community at Follow the Sun, and I would love to have you there. I'm also offering incredible classes that are all specific to the time that we're living in. We're living in a time when humans are really giving enough information and enough wisdom so that we can become sovereign in our lives. And it's our responsibility to do this. This is a real internal process and work to evolve ourselves, to wake ourselves up, to be who and what we're capable of being. So I just invite you to come to Follow the Sun, where we're teaching classes. We have a moon class that just started. The moon is the energy that governs our inner world. It also rules the water in our body. So when we do the work and the rituals to honor the water and the moon in our inner world, when we do that work, then we begin to have power that is sourced from within us. Most of us are so very externally focused, we don't even understand what's going on inside of ourselves, the system that we are within, this body system. And so the moon work, as we do the work with the rituals of the new moon and the full moon every single month, what we do is we do there's this Bible scripture that says, in my Father's house there are many mansions, and I shall go and prepare one for you. And so that is the sun going into each mansion in the constellation. Now it's in the Scorpio constellation. The sun goes into the constellation and opens up the energy. And the sun is not external, it's inside of us. And so wherever you have Scorpio in your chart right now is where that energy is being opened up and expanded and shown, so that you can get the power from there, so that you can get the energy from it. And that's the work that I teach us how to do. How do we get the energy from within ourselves to ascend, to be true to our own nature? Because the world that we live in has given us so many stories and narratives and behaviors and systems and practices that take us out of our power, that have us externally focused. And there's nothing external. Nothing is external. We think it is, but it's all, what's external is what someone's mind put there. This is all a blank canvas, except that somebody built a building and somebody put a street, but that's agreements. But underneath that is the energy and the power that we can use to generate more. So that's the moon work. I have that, and that started yesterday, and you guys still have about 3 or 4 days to join. Well, 3 days at the most, if you still want to join, because what you get to do is, with each new moon, you have to create new codes. So it's like planting new seeds where the new moon is, so that you can grow your energy, so that you can become who you really are here to be. You have to align yourself to the practices and the belief that are aligned to nature. And when you do that, your life changes. I also have right now the Gemini, Mars in Gemini, retrograde in Gemini, where we get to reprogram the body. The body is everything, you guys. Like, the body is where all of the stories, all of the narratives are held. And when we are holding, narratives that are out of alignment, things like, so for me, I used to believe, because I'm a black woman, I'm not going to be able to be happy. Because I'm a black woman, I'm not going to be able to really fulfill my potential. Like, all of those are narratives stored in the body. So this Mars retrograde is helping us uncover these belief systems that we've hidden in our cell structures by honoring those very parts of the bodies and doing the ritual and releasing it so that you can renew the power of your system. This is how we heal mental illness. This is how we heal, health challenges, because all of this stuff starts in our minds, so, say somebody has something going on. I got diabetes. That's a mental condition. You think it's something physical, but the Western world, the Western medicine world doesn't let us understand that everything starts in the mind first. Because if they treated your mind, then you wouldn't need the doctors. If they treated what you thought and how you felt about yourself, you wouldn't need any medicine. You might need some herbs to help yourself get back into clarity, but you wouldn't need any of these things that they're giving, high blood pressure. All that stuff it's all a mental thing. And so the Mars retrograde class, Mars governs the body, Gemini governs the mind. And so together you get to reprogram the stories that you were telling yourself. How many of us, like just this morning, we were doing some work around the class, and I was remembering that when I was a little girl, my grandmother was about 5'2". And she had a big old foot, like a size 10 foot. And as a child, I just was like, ooh, because she would always say every time she got pregnant and had a baby, her foot would grow. So I created a negative story about my feet because of my grandmother's experience. And that negative story has impacted the way I have moved through the world, because we think it's nothing. We think it's nothing if we're like, oh, I don't like this, or I'm too this, or I'm too that. But the body is listening, and that creates a program in the system that keeps you from being able to be who you truly are because of the things that we're thinking about ourselves. Like I remember when I realized that I had big lips, right? And I was unhinged when like a teenage boy mentioned my lips, and it just became a thing that I became so ashamed of, and there's nothing I could do about it, but inside of myself I was recoiling. But that impacted the way I moved through the world, the way I talk, the way I use my wits, because I was in the deep subconscious feeling I was ugly because I had big lips, right? So we have to really undo these narratives in the system, in the mind and in the body, because they are prohibiting us from fully expressing and being our God selves. And so these are the classes that I teach. They're fun. It's amazing. I love it. Oh my God, I love it so much because they work. That's the thing. They work. And I love that. And so it's we have this idea, the way we relate to our bodies is really barbaric, honestly. It really is barbaric. So we want to recondition ourselves around, our sexuality, around our sensual nature, around how we think about our bodies, how we feel about our bodies, how we relate to our bodies, how we speak to our bodies. All of that stuff has to be reprogrammed. Otherwise, it just becomes disease down the line. It's because that's what happens when we don't deal with it appropriately. So today, there's so much happening. I heard that Nancy Pelosi may have just stepped down. Is that what happened? I didn't go read to find out. But one of the things that I have been really praying and holding the space for the old systems to come undone, for the old realities to collapse. And I want you guys to understand that these systems rely upon us. These systems exist because we participate in them, because we feed them, because we give them our energy. Because we give them our energy. And because we give these systems our energy, they continue to thrive. They continue to thrive. She's still in the office as a whip, but she's not going to be the Speaker of the House. And was she the Speaker of the House or whatever it was? But they continue to thrive. And so the more we take our participation away. So really, when I say death to these systems, what I'm meaning is death to the part of me that believes that I need that in order to exist. Death to the part of me that believes that I need to give somebody my authority in order for me to feel safe in the world. Death to the part of myself, right? She stated she will continue to represent her district in the House. Okay. But like I said, the reason I'm asking is she's one of the people that I'm praying that goes away. I'm praying, I really am praying that all of these systems come undone, or that we begin to reorganize them in ways that actually work. I don't know that we can do that with the current system as it exists, because it is corrupt, and it has always been corrupt. It has never not been corrupt, right? And so because it's always been corrupt, from the very onset, it has been corrupt. It's never not been corrupt. And because of that, I don't believe that it can be shifted into something unique and different that actually works for all humans, which is why it is important for us to come out of the system, right? Just not participate. That's all it is just don't participate. If you take your energy and attention away from it, it will begin to dry up and die. And we can do this. That's why, if we begin to talk to our bodies and use herbs and use natural remedies, we won't have to rely upon the medical system, because we will do things that are preventive, that don't take us into these deep illnesses that require us to have to go get something chopped off, or these medicines that don't actually work. She said, I knew she was still going to be a congressmember because of her investments. Yes. So what I'm talking about is our the way we are complicit. That's what I want to say. The way that we are complicit in these systems. Now, here's what I want to say. It takes time to come out of it. It's not all or nothing kind of thing. I feel, and it's we want to be in the world and not of the world. Those are two different, we're going to be here, and you might use things, but when you use them from a different mindset, you use them from a different consciousness. You use things from the awareness of actually what it is. If you can see it for what it is, then when you use it, you're not subject to the deception and the intention that it was created for. So for instance, I still send my son to school. I've not stopped sending him to school yet, but I'm very clear about what's going on, and I make efforts to be sure that he's getting what he needs. But there's something of value that I still get in the school district because of speech therapy and all those sort of things that really do help his development. We need real talk, Black delineation. Yes, the Dave Chappelle skit was brilliant. I love that. I loved, one of the things that I'm very aware of is we still live in a very patriarchal culture, where we give men what we believe them. You know what I mean? So if a white man says something and a black man says it, we'll believe the white man. We'll believe what the white man says, but we won't believe what the black man says. But the white man can say the same thing, but we'll believe it, right? The Dave Chappelle thing, it's I know women have been saying this stuff about our country forever. We have a prison system with millions of black people in it. We have a medical system. We're seeing where black people are being vampired and used in every system. But now Kanye's complaining, and Dave Chappelle is, and maybe now we're going to actually pay some attention to it. But this stuff none of this is new. None of this is new. It's just beginning to infringe upon people who believe that their money should give them the same privileges that white people get with their money. And the thing about this country is, if you have money, okay, but if you are a black person, you're not going to be given the same privileges that of a white person, just like when Barack Obama was the president of the United States. I mean, there's the Democrat and Republican thing that was going on, but then there was the fact that he was a black man. So even though he was a Democrat and the Republicans were going to come after any Democrat, what they did to him was extra because he was also black. And so we have to understand that being, identifying in this way with the black experience really does hinder our access and the way we are treated. And that's why it's important for us as black people to begin to use our superpowers, to begin to use our intuition and our other faculties to guide us through this reality. And as black people, we have melanin, and melanin is a superpower. And if we're not using it, and if we don't know how to use it, and if we're not activating it, if we're not pursuing the ways to learn how to use it, then we're handicapping ourselves because we need it. And melanin is aligned to nature. It's aligned to the universal, to the unseen forces. And if we're not tapped into it, we're missing out on so much of what's available to us. But you have to do the work to tap into it. There's a lot happening, a lot changing. America's in its Pluto return, and so we're going to continue to see a fallout of systems collapsing and systems being challenged and things. And it's important for us to begin to just to do our own internal work. That is it. Do your own internal work. And I have created a community that supports us in doing that. My community is designed to help us wake up to who we truly are naturally by following the astrological energetic imprints, the astrological energetic signatures, because the astrology doesn't lie. And so I love that I've been able to create something that isn't about my own personality, that isn't about idealizing another human being, but that really is about finding the Christ, the consciousness, the divine, the divinity within you, because that's where it is. It's inside. And one of the things that I've seen in my own life is that just the levels of magic and peace and contentment, because the universe always has me. I always feel connected to Source. I never feel like I'm alone. It is the most profound, beautiful experience. And I just believe that we will all thrive when we can all step into this kind of way of being. And so, like I said, I invite you to come. We have about 2 more days for the 13 moons for you to register for that, and about another week for the Mars retrograde. 13 moons is $111 a month. You can leave whenever you want. The Mars retrograde class goes from now to March 30th. You cannot leave. You can leave if you really needed to, but I don't suggest you leave. I suggest you stay to the end. And that class is $133 a month. And we're working on reprogramming the body, which is it's the key to it all. All right, you all. Peace and blessings. Have a really beautiful day. I'm about to take myself and go do some body work because, we hold our terror, our fear, and our tension in the body. And so we have to work that stuff out of the body. Otherwise, it continues to run us. So that's what I've been doing. I've been working through my terror and my disappointments, because those energies build up in the system. Those fears and stuff, they build up in the system. And so we have to move it. We have to move ourselves through it. All right. And so that's what I'm on my way to do. Peace and blessings. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.